Elusive billionaire Humphrey Kariuki this morning presented himself before the Magistrates court to answer to charges of tax evasion. Kariuki, who denied the charges, sold himself as a law-abiding citizen who should be released on bond. NTV's Olive Barrows now joins us with the court's verdict. Olive, has the court granted his application for release yet?
Yes, it has, Zainab, and I wonder whether you've ever occupied the same courtroom as a billionaire. After this morning's proceedings, I can say yes, I have. Humphrey Kariuki presented himself before the court in response to a summons, and that is the reason the court has granted him bond release on bond or a cash bail. Now, the bond amount is 20 million with a surety of the same amount, or in the alternative, a 10 million shilling cash bail. Now, that is to do with the 41 billion shilling tax evasion charge. Now, there are two other files, and in those cases, as with respect to being found in possession with uncustomed ethanol, he has been released on a 1 million shilling bond or a cash bail of 500,000 shillings in the alternative. Now, the third file has to do with the fact that millions, or rather 1 million containers containing alcohol were found with fake stamps, and with respect to that particular charge, he has been released on 1 million shillings in terms of a bond, and in the alternative, a 500,000 shilling cash bail. Now, he appeared before Chief Magistrate Francis Ndai, who said if he refused or declined, or rather granted the prosecution application to continue to hold the billionaire, it would be discriminatory, as his co-accused were released on the 9th of August on a similar bond and bail terms. Now, he also says that it would be unwarranted because he did not issue an arrest warrant for the millionaire, but a summons which the billionaire, which the billionaire complied with. Now, Humphrey Kariuki was very guarded in court, and as the charges were read out to him, and he denied them, he denied all the charges. He had his arms crossed in front of his chest, so he was very guarded. Of course, these are serious charges, and there's nothing much to smile about. He is still under investigation, and under investigation for money laundering. Now, according to the DPP, and even if you recall the events that transpired prior to his appearance in court today, you'll recall on the 30th of January, the DPP says the investigative authorities got a tip-off that a trailer and a truck were carrying uncustomed ethanol, which they said was proven true when they raided the premises of Africa Spirits Limited, or WOW. Now, another director was before the court this morning, and his name is Stuart Gerald, and he says he's a director only on paper and therefore should not be held liable for the tax evasion charges. The court said if he's profited from the business, therefore he is liable for whatever crimes may have been committed. Now, the defense put up by Kyoko Kilukumi, who is appearing on behalf of Humphrey Kariuki, is that Humphrey Kariuki is not a director of Africa Spirits Limited or WOW Beverages, but rather an investor, and not a personal investor, meaning his name personally does not appear on the ownership documents, but an investor by way of corporate entity. So that is the defense that he put up this morning. Now, as I said, he's been released on a 20 million shilling bond with a surety of the same amount, or in the alternative, he will be released if he pays a 10 million shilling cash bail. Now, the other matter that came up, and that was a contentious issue, is a question of whether Africa Spirits Limited and WOW Beverages should also be released on bond terms. An advocate arguing that the directors of the company are already being forced to pay bond and or a cash bill in order to be released, and therefore it would be punitive and amount to up to 60 million shillings, while the companies Africa Spirits Limited and WOW Beverages also charged bail or bond. But the Chief Magistrate Francis Ndai has stuck to his guns. He says the companies are liable for, or rather are required to pay 20 million shillings in a cash bill in the next 3 days, or else the directors, as he said, will console each other in custody. Back to you, Zainab.
All right, thank you.